A seismic shift is rippling through the global financial landscape, and it's emanating from a source many had written off as a perpetual economic cautionary tale. In an announcement that has sent shockwaves through investor circles and geopolitical analysis rooms alike, Iraqi state television has just broadcast a historic decree directly from the office of the Prime Minister, a decree that officially and unequivocally approves a comprehensive dinar currency reform plan slated for full implementation in 2025. This isn't the usual speculative chatter from obscure online forums or the hopeful whispers of currency speculators. This is a state-sanctioned, publicly broadcast policy shift that carries the full weight of the Iraqi government, and it fundamentally changes the entire narrative surrounding the Iraqi dinar. For decades, the story of the IQD has been one of struggle, volatility, and a value tethered to a tumultuous past. But this televised address marks a definitive pivot point, a deliberate and calculated move to sever the currency from the ghosts of its history and re-anchor it to a future built on economic sovereignty and global integration. The Prime Minister didn't just vaguely allude to economic improvements. He laid out a clear, multi-phase strategy focused on de-linking the Iraqi economy from its overwhelming dependency on the US dollar for internal transactions, a move that economists have long argued is the absolute cornerstone for achieving any meaningful monetary independence. This plan explicitly targets the complex and often corrupt system of currency auctions at the Central Bank of Iraq, a system that has bled the nation's foreign reserves and created a vast disparity between the official and parallel market rates, and it aims to replace this chaotic mechanism with a unified, market-driven exchange rate that the government believes will stabilize the currency, crush the black market, and most critically, restore both domestic and international confidence in the Iraqi dinar as a store of value. The implications of this are staggering. It's a direct attempt to reclaim control over the nation's monetary policy from external pressures and internal leeches, signaling an unprecedented level of political will and a recognition that true national sovereignty is impossible without financial sovereignty. This reform plan is intrinsically linked to broader infrastructural and legislative projects, including the development of a modern digital banking sector and aggressive anti-corruption measures within the financial ministries, creating a synergistic push that suggests this is more than just lip service. The announcement specifically mentioned the goal of facilitating foreign direct investment by creating a transparent and predictable financial environment, making it clear that Iraq is no longer content with being merely an oil-rich nation, but is now aggressively pursuing a diversified, modern economy where its currency is a reliable partner for international business, not a liability. This televised statement was a masterclass in public assurance, designed not just for the international community, but for the Iraqi people themselves, who have endured the daily hardship of a devalued currency. And it serves as a powerful promise that the economic isolation is ending. The Prime Minister's words were a deliberate shock to the system, a calculated jolt intended to reset expectations and announce to the world that Iraq is open for business on its own terms, with a currency ready to be judged by its actual economic potential rather than the shadows of its past conflicts. The very fact that this was announced on official state television cannot be overstated. It moves the dinar conversation from the fringe into the mainstream of global finance, forcing major banks, multinational corporations, and international monetary funds to sit up, take notice, and recalculate their long-term strategies for the entire Middle East region. This is a story of national resurrection with the dinar as its protagonist, a story that begins with this shocking announcement and will unfold in the months and years to come, rewriting the economic destiny of a nation and potentially creating ripple effects that will be felt in every Forex market and investment portfolio across the globe. Now, let's dissect what this Dinar Currency Reform Plan 2025 truly means for the exchange rate you see on the screen, the potential for a revaluation, and the very real global economic impact that will follow. The core mechanism of this reform, as detailed by financial advisors in the broadcast, revolves around a managed float of the Iraqi dinar, a process where the central bank will initially guide the currency towards its true market value, before allowing it to trade more freely against a basket of major world currencies, with the ultimate goal being a significant strengthening of the IQD against the US dollar. This is the foundational process that makes a revaluation, or RV, not just a speculative dream, but a tangible policy objective. The historical context is crucial here. The current official rate was established in the wake of the Second Gulf War and was designed for stability in a broken nation. But it has long been an artificial anchor holding back the Iraqi economy, not reflecting the nation's vast wealth in oil, gas, minerals, and human capital. The planned revaluation is about correcting this gross mispricing, about allowing the dinar's value to be reflective of Iraq's immense natural resources and its potential for economic growth, which is a complete paradigm shift from its current status. Imagine a country with some of the world's largest proven oil reserves, a young and growing population, and a strategic geographic position, yet its currency is valued at a fraction of its neighbors. This discrepancy is the very gap the government is now aiming to close, and the process will be anything but subtle. We are looking at a deliberate, government-engineered appreciation of the currency designed to combat rampant inflation that has eroded the savings of ordinary Iraqis and to reduce the cost of importing essential goods, from food to medicine to machinery, which will have an immediate and positive impact on the standard of living for millions of people. This isn't just an economic adjustment. It's a social and political stabilization program executed through monetary policy for the global Forex trader and the international investor. This presents a scenario unlike any other in modern financial history, a planned and publicly announced revaluation of a national currency by its own government, creating a unique and time-sensitive opportunity. The fluctuations in the USD-IQD pairing that we will witness throughout 2024 and into 2025 will be the direct result of this managed transition. And understanding the phases of this plan is the key to anticipating market movements. The initial phase will likely involve a gradual but consistent strengthening as the central bank injects confidence and tightens control over the money supply, which will be followed by a more significant jump once the new rate is officially set and the currency is allowed to trade on its own merits, backed by Iraq's economic output. This will inevitably lead to a massive repatriation of capital into the country, as both domestic and foreign investors seek to capitalize on the new, stronger dinar, fueling a construction and development boom that will further accelerate economic growth. The impact on the global economy, while nuanced, will be significant, particularly in the energy and emerging market sectors. A stronger dinar means greater purchasing power for Iraq, allowing it to negotiate better terms on its oil exports and to import higher quality goods and services, which will benefit exporting nations around the world. It also positions Iraq as a new, powerful economic player in the Middle East, potentially altering trade dynamics and alliances within the region and challenging the financial dominance of its neighbors. The expert analysis we are seeing now suggests that the success of this RV hinges on two critical factors: the government's ability to maintain stringent anti-corruption measures to prevent the reforms from being undermined from within, and its capacity to manage the money supply to avoid hyperinflation on the other side of revaluation. The announcement on Iraqi TV was the starting pistol. What follows is a complex, high-stakes economic transformation that will be studied for decades. And for those watching the charts and reading the news, every data point, every central bank statement, and every fluctuation, the parallel market rate is now a critical piece of a much larger puzzle that is finally, after years of waiting, being assembled in plain sight. So, where does this leave you? The investor, the observer, the person watching this unfold from across the globe, wondering what your next move should be in light of this earth-shattering financial news. The path forward is now illuminated by the stark light of official confirmation, and it demands a strategic shift from passive hope to active, informed preparation. The period between this shocking announcement and the full implementation of the 2025 reform plan represents the most critical and potentially lucrative window of opportunity for anyone with an interest in the future of the Iraqi dinar, a narrow corridor of time where informed action will be separated from mere speculation. The first and most immediate step is to secure a reliable, real-time source of information that cuts through the noise and delivers verified updates directly from the ground in Iraq. This is no longer a market for rumors, but for cold, hard facts straight from the Central Bank of Iraq's press releases, official government decrees, and trusted financial analysts with proven on-the-ground sources. You must become a student of macroeconomic indicators specific to Iraq. Watch the weekly reports on the central bank's foreign currency auctions. Monitor any statements regarding the nation's foreign reserves, which are the bedrock supporting this revaluation. And pay close attention to the narrowing gap between the official exchange rate and the parallel market rate in Baghdad, as the convergence of these two numbers is the clearest public signpost that the reform is progressing as planned. This is also the time to conduct a thorough audit of your own financial strategy and risk tolerance. While the potential for monumental gains is undeniably present, so too is volatility. And you must decide what portion of your portfolio you are willing to expose to this historic event, ensuring that your investments are diversified and that you are psychologically prepared for the ups and downs that will inevitably occur during this managed transition. Do not be swayed by fear of missing out or by the panic of others. The government has laid out a timeline, and this is a marathon of financial transformation, not a sprint, requiring patience and a steady nerve as the mechanisms of state slowly but surely turn to realize this vision. Think beyond the immediate exchange rate and consider the secondary and tertiary opportunities that a revalued dinar will unlock. A wealthier Iraq will need everything from modern infrastructure and telecommunications to advanced healthcare systems and agricultural technology, meaning that investments in companies and sectors poised to enter this newly invigorated market could yield returns that far outstrip the currency trade itself. The empowerment of the average Iraqi citizen with significantly greater purchasing power will create a massive new consumer market almost overnight, a gold rush for global brands and service providers that see the potential of millions of new customers. Your call to action right now in this very moment is to make a decision. Will you be a spectator watching this financial revolution from the sidelines, or will you be an active participant in one of the most remarkable economic rebirths of the 21st century? The information is now in your hands. The roadmap has been provided by the Prime Minister himself, and the time for deliberation is over. This is your moment to seize the initiative, to align your strategy with a guaranteed geopolitical shift, and to position yourself for the prosperity that is coming. Do not let this historic opportunity become a story you tell about the one that got away. Take control of your financial future today. Subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell so you never miss a single update, and join our community of informed investors in the comments below. Let us know your thoughts on this announcement and what your strategy is moving forward. The journey to a new financial dawn for Iraq has officially begun, and you now have the chance to be a part of it.